Good day to you and yours. I'm Theodore Henry, your host for today. Coming up, we hear from Tax Administration Jamaica on another episode of Finance Matters. We're also learning about an artificial aquifer recharge system to assist in periods of water scarcity. I'll bring you the news and more after this quick break.
Looking for that next science project, one that will make a lasting impact, and one that's also economically beneficial? Look no further than the National School Tree Planting Competition. We're calling on all schools, from early childhood right up to the tertiary level, to sign up for this worthy cause. The school that plants the most fruit or ornamental trees will get $300,000. Visit the Forestry Department's website to submit your entries for a chance to win awesome cash prizes and awards. Don't forget to download the 876 Trees app and see the progress of each tree planted. Get those green thumbs working and let the planting begin. Entries close on February 28, 2023.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 9, 2023. Government will present its budget for the upcoming fiscal year next Tuesday, February 14, in the House of Representatives. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, will table the estimates of expenditure following the ceremonial opening of Parliament earlier in the day. During the ceremonial opening, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen will deliver the throne speech outlining government's legislative agenda for the 2023-2024 parliamentary year. Unlike the openings in 2021 and 2022, which were curtailed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's ceremony will see a return to the full slate of invitees. In addition to parliamentarians and their guests, state officials, custodes, mayors, and representatives of the diplomatic corps will be invited. The march to Gordon House, led by the Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition, will also return in the traditional manner. Leader of the House, Minister Edmund Bartlett, says the planning for this year's ceremony is seeking to recapture the grandeur that existed before the pandemic restricted face-to-face interactions. The governments of Jamaica and the Republic of Sierra Leone are working to strengthen diplomatic relations and agreements in the areas of tourism, culture, and the creative industries. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, says discussions have already started about a memorandum of understanding in respect of tourism.
Jamaica welcomes the potential for collaboration, particularly in the fields of tourism and culture. Our inspiration and indeed our enthusiasm to deepen relations and to identify opportunities for collaboration are rooted in our centuries-old, deep-rooted people-to-people connections.
The Foreign Affairs Minister says other areas of cooperation being examined include health, agriculture, and human capital development. She was addressing Tuesday's official opening of the Honorary Consulate of the Republic of Sierra Leone to Jamaica at 16 Asquith Drive in Red Hills. Professor Rosalie Hamilton has been named the first honorary consul for the Republic of Sierra Leone to Jamaica. This is the country's first consulate being established in the Caribbean, and Sierra Leone's Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Dr. Memunatu Pratt, says it signals a deepening of the relationship and commitment to facilitating greater cooperation.
Our coming here, in terms of the most important thing about the opening of our consulate, is the fact that we want to make a point. We want to send a message to Jamaica that indeed we are ready.
Diplomatic relations between the countries were first formally established on November 15, 1967. A series of celebratory events are being held from February 7 to 11 to commemorate the deepening of the partnership and the welcome and homecoming for delegates and members of the creative industries from Sierra Leone who have traveled to Jamaica to mark the occasion. Jamaica's proposal for February 17th to be declared Global Tourism Resilience Day is now official, following the designation by the United Nations. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has welcomed the UN's decision, which follows months of high-level discussions and diplomatic engagements. He says it will help increase awareness and the actions of global tourism stakeholders towards boosting the industry's capacity to effectively handle and recover swiftly from major disruptions.
The Caribbean, which is the most tourism-dependent region on Earth, are hugely impacted by weather events such as hurricanes and then seismic events and even volcanic activity. So when these things happen, how do you respond? How do you respond quickly? How do you recover fast, and grow afterwards? That's what resilience is about.
Minister Bartlett introduced the draft resolution designating Global Tourism Resilience Day at the UN General Assembly meeting in New York on Monday. Jamaica will host the historic first Global Tourism Resilience Conference from February 15 to 17 at the University of the West Indies Regional Headquarters in Kingston. Students and staff at Arden High School in St. Andrew will soon benefit from the establishment of a health and wellness center. The center is being built on premises owned by the school with permission from the Society of the Church of God in Jamaica at a cost of $60 million. It is expected to be completed within a year and is an initiative of the Arden Alumni Foundation. Education Minister Favour Williams has welcomed the center, which aims to support the physical and mental health and overall well-being of the school's students and staff. Her speech was delivered at the groundbreaking ceremony by Education Officer in the Ministry, Hazel Masters-Williams.
The holistic approach to student and staff well-being cannot be taken for granted. We're human beings who from time to time need intervention to deal with physical and mental health issues. In addition, schools have an essential role to play in supporting students to make healthy lifestyle choices and understanding the effects of their choices on their health and well-being.
The proposed two-story building will include a nurse's station, students and staff sick bays, washrooms, students' lounge, counseling rooms, and a multi-purpose roof terrace.
The counseling rooms will allow our alumni to mentor students and teachers in an environment that is conducive to fostering well-being. The building will be surrounded by green spaces and gardens, which will provide a tranquil and peaceful environment for wellness and healing.
The chairman of the Arden High Alumni Foundation says $15 million has so far been secured for the project. She's encouraging others to partner with the foundation. And finally, the Solas to Grant Street Parochial Roadway in Western Westmoreland is now undergoing major repairs through a $17.8 million road improvement contract. The National Works Agency NWA is undertaking the work through its Maintenance of Secondary Roads program. Community Relations Officer at the NWA's Western Region, Janelle Ricketts, says the project targets approximately 700 meters off the roadway. It involves extensive drainage improvement works and the reshaping and asphalting of the targeted section of the roadway using asphaltic concrete. The project, which began in December 2022, is expected to be completed by the end of this month. In the meantime, the NWA is also undertaking a major flood mitigation project along the Bulstrode Main Road in Western Westmoreland at a cost of $8 million. That road, located along the corridor leading from Tollgate to Grange Hill, has been plagued by persistent flooding. The Works Agency is creating a high embankment on which the road will be placed and is also installing additional drainage features, including culverts, V-drains, and catch basins. The targeted sections of the roadway will be resurfaced using asphaltic concrete. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The Wildlife Protection Act is a piece of legislation here in Jamaica. It was enacted in 1945 that tries to look at our animals or wildlife on the island of Jamaica and try to ensure that they are conserved to some degree and not overexploited. So they're also, as an island, we have a lot of unique species. And if we lose those species on the island, it's gone to the entire world. So that is also one of the reasons why we have this piece of legislation, to ensure that Jamaica can maintain its wildlife and preserve the wildlife for future generations. In the Jamaican context, being an island, being very small, some persons have never left the island before, and so Jamaica seems big, but Jamaica is really very small. We have a lot to lose. We have a lot of resources and we have a lot to lose. So we're encouraging the public not to over-harvest, not to go against the Wildlife Protection Act and take animals that are considered protected species. And if animals are in a vulnerable situation where you think they need assistance, we encourage persons to first contact NEPA at 754-7540 and ask for assistance, especially if those animals have the potential of doing harm or being dangerous.
Tax Administration Jamaica upgraded some of its services so that individuals now have access online. Next up, we learn more on finance matters.
Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, operates as the country's premier revenue collecting agency. But have you ever tried to do business at the tax office? How was your experience? Well, you can now say goodbye to waiting in long lines and hello to fast and efficient services. So whether it is applying for a TRN, TCC, or paying taxes, the TAJ is allowing you to complete your transactions online. There are now more choices available for businesses, independent contractors, partnerships, provident societies, other organizations, and the general public about obtaining information, filing forms, and paying taxes. Hi, I am Shaquille Rochester Shorter, and welcome to Finance Matters. Today, I will be speaking with Mr. Leighton Beckles, Communications Officer at TAJ, about the services that you can now access online. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to see all the episodes and highlights. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Shaquille. It's nice to be here with you.
TAJ is now digital. Tell us what this means for people doing business at the tax office.
Well, simply it means that persons can interact with us in the virtual space, the digital space. So persons are able to interact with our services from the convenience of pretty much anywhere. Whether it's home, whether it's on the move, they can take hold of many of our services while they are away from the tax office. So you don't have to come to the tax office to do some of the things that persons used to have to some time ago.
So what kind of business can I do online now?
Well, there are a number of things. I mean, the major one that pops up and comes to mind is property tax. Persons are now able to interact with the property tax services. They are able to pay their property tax and they can actually query their liabilities online. Now, online, which is the space where persons can get that information, is jamaicatax.gov.jm.
Okay.
And persons can interact there and utilize the services of making payments for property taxes, querying. Added to that, we've added some more features that are value added, which allows persons to self-serve.
Tell us about those features.
And some of these features are persons are able to renew their driver's license online, which is pretty big. So you don't have to come into a tax office to make the payment, to renew your driver's license. And once you start that process, you go into the tax office with the documents. All the information is there on the website and all the information on what you need to bring in. And once you do that, start the process, you bring those bits of documentation into the tax office, it actually fast tracks that driver's license process. More efficiency, and it just works better for the tax-paying public. Added to that, persons are able to pay their traffic ticket fines. So if you happen to be in the unfortunate situation where you've been fined and you need to pay a traffic ticket, you don't necessarily have to go into a tax office.
I don't have a ticket right now, but I know people that this information will be useful too.
And it's important because you have to also remember that you can pay that traffic ticket fine within the 21 clear days that is stipulated by law. So it has to happen. If you've missed that period, then you have to visit the tax office.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, not visit the tax office. You'd have to go to court, so it becomes a summons. So persons are able to do those bits online.
Are customers really taking advantage of the services online? What's your take?
Oh yes, persons have been taking advantage of it, especially the business community. Now for TAJ, our main taxes, what persons will hear, income tax, GCT, special consumption tax, telephone call tax. These business-related taxes, as we like to call them in tax administration, Jamaica, are taxes that can be filed online. So you don't have to come into our tax office. So the business community
they're taking advantage of this.
Taking advantage of this. The general public, though, they have been taking advantage of some of the other services. Because, Shaquille, did you know that persons are able to start the process of applying for their taxpayer registration number online? And we've been seeing persons just taking that up. Added to that, persons who are applying for a tax compliance certificate. You can apply for it online, you can renew it online. So if you kind of get the idea of the trend of where the tax authority is going, we want to ensure that we provide persons with value-added services so that they can do it themselves. They don't necessarily have to come into our spaces. And I mean, we all want to see a tax compliant Jamaica. And a part of this is doing business with a tax authority that's grounded in what is happening in the environment now. And we help to keep the wheels of commerce going by providing these services online.
So what services continue to be done directly in the tax office at this time?
Well, pretty much taxpayers have the option of doing pretty much all the services online, except the filing of taxes. There's a mandate that persons must file online. But pretty much everything else, persons have the option to come into the tax office. So take, for example, the motor vehicle registration. Persons still have to come into the tax office to do that. You can pay a property tax in office. You can apply for your TRN within a tax office. So pretty much, everything. But the thing for us, Shaquille, is that you have options. And that's where TAJ comes from. We had to take an introspective look, and introspection for anybody, especially a public sector organization, is not easy. We had to ask the hard questions, and we had to give the answers. And one of the things is that we understand the environment in which we are now operating, and we decided that we had to push the game forward. So you have the option of doing it inline, but we like to say, why, expose yourself to the crowds, and because crowds are a thing, persons are coming into the tax office. Well, expose yourself to that. If you have a mobile device,
lately you said crowd, and that brings me back to a memory when I went to Constant Spring to renew my driver's license, and the line was at the back in the parking lot, and that was just crazy in my mind. So I'm glad that we're moving forward where more things are now digital and people can do things online, so we won't be seeing those long lines. So on that note now, Leighton, are you able to tell me about future partnerships that TAJ will be embarking?
Well, Tax Administration Jamaica, one of the things that's important to us, our business, is that we engage our stakeholders. Our stakeholders are absolutely essential to what we do because they inform how we roll out different aspects of our operations. And one of the partnerships that comes to mind is our partnerships with the Insurance Association of Jamaica, where we are looking at bringing the registration of motor vehicles online. So what that means in layman language is that soon persons will be able to register their motor vehicle.
That's good news for me.
It's going to be very good news. So we're still, working through some bits, and we're ensuring that we're getting it right so that once we roll it out in the very full sense, once it's rolled out, then persons are able to benefit from that. We partner with, both public and private sector entities. So from the public sector entity point of view, then we look at working with the Ministry of Local Government, because now, as I said, persons would have been able to pay their property tax online. We're also looking at we are working with the Jamaica Constabulary Force to look at police record fee payments being able to be done online. And some of the deeper partnerships in public sector is that with eGov Jamaica, they have been able to help us to, push the envelope, because I'm not sure if you know, we have a mobile application.
Yes,
and that mobile application, it is available, at this point, to Android users. But I'm an Apple person.
Myself, so when is it coming over?
We are working on that. We have not forgotten about that. So that is definitely coming. But Android users have the option now to get onto, is it Google Play Store? Android users, right? Google Play Store, yes. Get onto the Google Play Store, download the app, and they're able to make their traffic ticket fine payments there, pay property tax there, query your property tax. So we are making some incremental steps. One of the big things though with our digitization is our revenue administration information system. It's a mouthful, or people just call it RAISE. Now what that allows the taxpayer to do is to pretty much use the services of TAJ in a very fulsome way. So they can file their returns online, they can actually look at the return, send messages to us. So it makes the process of doing business with us so much easier, and it really is the spine of our online services.
So Lena, before we go, just remind us where we can go to do business with TAJ online.
So persons can visit our website, jamaicatax.gov.jm. That's where persons will get information on how they go about making payments, how they go about interacting with any of our online services. But if persons do need support, there's a whole range of support out there. They can call through to our customer care center. That's 888-829-4357. We also have a number that is for the Jamaican diaspora, especially in the North American side, where they can just visit the website to get that number, to get support, to call into our customer care center.
Nice.
We have a pretty big footprint on social media, so we're on all the socials. So persons can get information, or if you want, Shaquille, you walk into any tax office, speak with a taxpayer education officer, and we will tell you about the many ways TAJ is working together to serve persons even better and changing the way we're doing business.
I am sure they are very much equipped with helping me, Mr. Beckles. So thank you for coming on our program today. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
Yes, we live in the tropics, and yes, Jamaica gets an average of 82 inches of rainfall annually. But the island also experiences seasons of drought. That is why the Water Resources Authority and other stakeholders have implemented an artificial underground recharge system. Let's learn some more.
Jamaica is known for its tropical climate, which brings warm weather. While showers are possible all year round, the land is not free from periods of drought. January to March and July are classified as the dry seasons, with February being the driest month, on average producing just about 15 millimeters of rain, or roughly 3 rainy days. And so the need for artificial recharge systems. An artificial recharge system is used to store excess water for use later, like periods of drought. The water stored in these wells can be put to environmental, agricultural, and urban uses. In order to serve the well-polluted communities in St. Catherine and the Kingston metropolitan area, government constructed the Innswood Artificial Recharge System.
Water is critical, and it is a part of the agenda of the government that we provide these resources to improve the quality of life.
The St. Catherine-based facility is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank at a cost of $1.07 billion. Situated on 68 acres of land, it is the largest artificial aquifer recharge system in Central America and the Caribbean. It diverts approximately 5 million gallons of water per day from the Rio Cobra River through the National Irrigation Commission NIC Canal during the wet season.
The question of water is critical, whether it is water for domestic or agricultural purpose. This is a facility that is providing the resources in terms of water that is badly needed in this part of St. Catherine to deal with the agricultural side of the parish.
The construction of this station involves a raw water intake structure, as well as inlet structures for 2 infiltration wells, 3 sinkholes and 2.1 kilometers of pipelines. The facility treats the raw water from the Old Harbour branch of the NIC Canal through a series of settling basins that remove sediments, pollutants and other particles. This will ensure that the water is of good quality. These wells need to be recharged to ensure easy access to potable water.
You might see the water going away and going through the system, but it is being stored because it's going into the aquifer itself. This is a limestone aquifer, so it is very easy for that operation to take place actually, because the nature of the limestone, the cracks and the fissures is such that the injection of the water into the aquifer is guaranteed.
Having seen the successful implementation of the Innswood Underground Water Recharge System, government is examining the feasibility of replicating it in Manchester and St. Elizabeth.
Touring this facility, looking at the tremendous output that has been laid down at this facility. And this is something I will engage the technical people in a discussion on to see how best we can replicate this in other parishes where there is a severe need for this commodity, especially in parishes such as Manchester and St. Elizabeth, where, you know, that section of the island accounts for a significant portion of what goes to the market that is placed on the tables of the homes across the country.
Water is a primary commodity in the development process. It is critical to production and the quality of life.
We have the capacity to provide water, but it has to be done in a regulated and in a structured way.
That is why we have a system like this in place to help to give that guarantee of the delivery of the resource.
That is all for today, folks. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative and entertaining program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.